Hey, there's DJ Matt on page 399 in your packet. The water in Raphael's fish tank must be at least 11 inches for the fish to be healthy. He starts with a water level of 11.5 inches, then the water level decreases by 7/8 of an inch. So 11.5. I would immediately change this to eighths, so 11 4/8 inch minus 7/8. Now we're working with common denominators. Raphael adds water, but not enough for the fish to be healthy. So he's adding water, W. We don't know how much, and not enough for the fish to be healthy. So it's always less than or equal to 11. Raphael didn't do his job here. So first, we need to combine like terms. We've got 11 4/8 minus 7/8. So getting rid of the 4/8, we'll still have 3/8 left over. So 11 minus 3/8 is going to be 10 5. It's 10 5/8 plus W less than or equal to 11. And then we finish this off by subtracting 10 5/8 from both sides. 11 minus 10 5/8 gives us our answer of W less than or equal to 3/8 of an inch of water. All right, please make sure you've got everything down. You're headed over to page 400 now for the next problem. Which solutions, if any, do the inequalities share? So negative 2c minus 4 less than or equal to negative 4, 1/2 d minus 6 greater than negative 4. Let's go ahead and start off by solving this one by distributing. So that becomes negative 2c plus 8, because it was a negative times a negative, less than or equal to negative 4. Over here, well, let's just solve this whole thing first. Now, I see addition, so I undo it by subtracting 8 from both sides. I could also say adding negative 8 to both sides. That's the same thing as subtracting. This gets a 0, which is exactly what we want. We drop down negative 2c less than or equal to negative 12. I don't flip my sign just yet because I'd only flip it when I divide by negative, which I'm about to do. Divide by negative 2. So c is greater than or equal to 6. On this side, we can start off right away. If I see subtraction, I can add 6 to both sides. This cancels off, so I have 1/2 d greater than 2. And then I can either divide by half or I can multiply by 2. Fraction is division, so the opposite of division is multiplication. So 2 times 1 is 2, divided by 2 is 1. That cancels all off. So d is greater than 4. So what do they have in common? All numbers greater than or equal to 6, because this has 4 and 5, but this starts at 6. All right, next problem. An online company sells and ships t-shirts. The company has to pay an extra to ship a package that weighs more than 13 ounces. Before putting any t-shirts in the box, the package weighs 1.5 ounces. Each t-shirt weighs 5 ounces. Which number line best represents the possible numbers of t-shirts the company can ship in a package without paying extra for shipping? We don't know how many t-shirts we're going to have, but we know that every package that weighs more than 13 ounces, so we want it to be less than or equal to 13, has to pay that extra. So if I subtract 1.5 from both sides, this cancels off. I get drop this down. 5x is less than or equal to 11.5, and then divide by 5. So x is less than or equal to 2.3. But let's think about this. You can't ship 2.3 t-shirts. You could ship 0 t-shirts, 1 t-shirt, or 2 t-shirts. So the only graph that makes sense is A, because 3 t-shirts, that'd be too much, because you can only do 2.3. You're going to end up paying for it. Graph C doesn't work because you've got all these things in between these whole numbers, which, again, you cannot ship point something of a t-shirt. And graph D is just simply incorrect. Hannah might have chosen B as the correct answer simply by taking 2.3 and incorrectly rounding up, to 3. All right, move over to page 401. The math team wants to visit the Museum of Mathematics to celebrate Pi Day. They have $210 to spend. They need to buy 14 student tickets, 1 adult tickets. A student ticket costs $12, and an adult ticket costs $17. The team also wants to buy sugar-free pies. Each pie costs 6. How many whole pies can the team buy? So we need to do some multiplication. There are 14 students. Those are 12. So 14 times 12 first to figure that out. And there's Adele tickets. There's only one of those. So 17 times 1. So that's 168 plus 17, which means we spend $185 on the tickets, plus the $6 per pie. And we know we can't go less than or greater than 210. We got to be below that. So simple two-step equation, subtract 185 from both sides to begin. And this gives us 6p is less than or equal to 25. Divide by 6. So p is less than or equal to like 4.16666 repeated. Now, how many pies can they buy? They can buy 4 pies. You're not going to be able to go up to the person and say, hey, let me buy, 0.166 of a pie. So knowing the context of that is important. And lastly, page 402. Antonio's in bowling league. His goal is to average at least 100 points per game. Average to be greater than or equal to 100, right? So we got 105 plus 95 plus 97 plus 82 plus 110 plus his last game, which we don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 6 has got to be greater than or equal to 110. So we start this off by multiplying by 6 on both sides to get rid of the fraction. Later, all of these added together give us 489. So 489 plus p has got to be greater than or equal to 600 because I did 100 times 6 there. Then it's just one step. Subtract 489 from both sides. And you've got your answer of 111 points in that last game. Ooh, messed that up, sorry. 111 points. Lastly, you need to write a word problem that you can solve by writing and solving inequality. So think about the words like at least, at most, no more than, right? You can use those words trying to help you write an inequality. Think about like, you have to be at least 60 inches tall to ride the ride at Six Flags and, coming up with something like that.